Ryan Gravenberch spent years on the bench.
I didn't play a lot.
His talent wasted. Despite being 6'3" with the agility of a winger, he was misused and overlooked.
I couldn't see how it would work. If I'm being totally honest, Bayern Munich had had him in that position, said he can't do it.
But under Arne Slot, that's changed.
That's what makes him special, together with his running capacity. He just keeps on running.
Now, in the holding midfield role, he's showcasing his ability to drive forward, dominate physically, and dictate the play. Liverpool's long search for a defensive midfielder ended not with a signing, but with unlocking the player they already had.
I would argue that without Gravenberch, Liverpool might not be top of the league.
When you look at those long legs, the way he moved through midfield in that first game against Ipswich, that's Vieira like.
Every year, it seemed that Liverpool struggled to find a high-quality holding midfielder. First with Chouameni, then Caicedo and Lavia, and then Zubamendi.
Martin Zubamendi has decided to stay at Real Sociedad. That's despite expectations being that he would leave the Spanish club this summer.
They still need somebody who's got that defensive mind, particularly when you've got fullbacks that love to get forward.
Every target Liverpool wanted ended up not joining the club.
Last year, the prolonged saga with Caicedo. This year's with Mendy effectively turning down Liverpool in public. This is not a great look for Liverpool.
It's interesting you mentioned the forwards because they keep buying forwards. They bought another one in Cody Gakpo. They need midfielders. What's going on there? Why aren't they buying the right type of player for the right position they need?
Despite the talent all over the pitch, from Van Dijk to Trent to Salah, the center defensive mid spot was always an issue, ever since the departure of Fabinho.
Who's going to be the creative player? You know, who's going to be the one that's going to pick out those exceptional passes? Who's going to be the one that's going to play around pressure and get away from challenges?
They need another body in there.
Well, Slot has found the solution to the problem, and it's been on the Liverpool bench the whole time.
But he's sort of solved the issue, or looks to have solved the issue, in central midfield. With Gravenberch has been their player of the season. He's been absolutely outstanding.
New manager, new set of eyes, and new confidence has found a guy who might save this team $100 million if that's what you're paying for Caicedo or Lavia.
So why was a player this good not being utilized before? Fast, strong, good on the ball, Gravenberch is the ideal modern-day midfielder. Despite being 6'3", he moves with the elegance and grace of a winger. He is able to both dribble out of tight spaces while also being exceptional at carrying the ball in open space. The speed and strength he moves with, combined with his technical ability, is of Dutch heritage. The exact kind of runs you would see from the likes of Hullet and Seedorf. It might seem like Gravenberch came out of nowhere, but at one point, he was the most highly sought after midfielder in the world. He started his career at Ajax, joining the youth academy in 2010, working his way up the junior levels. Right away, the team could see his talent, as he received the Abdelhak Nouri Trophy, which is given to the best talent at the academy. Knowing the young Dutchman had immense potential, Ajax had signed him on the same day, keeping him at the club until 2023. Gravenberch made his senior debut with Ajax on the 23rd of September 2018, becoming the youngest ever Ajax player to play in the Eredivisie at 16 years and 130 days, surpassing the record previously set by Clarence Seedorf. The talent was obvious. A player of that size moving so smoothly. He could evade pressure with subtle changes of direction and his close dribbling. He scored his first Champions League goal in November of 2020.
And Gravenberch! What a hit! And what a way to start the second half for Ajax! Ryan Gravenberch's first goal in the competition is a bit special. It really is.
Showing that he had no problems performing under the bright lights. He also scored the first goal in a 2-1 win over Vitesse. He would carry the ball with speed, and any player that got in his path would just bounce off him. Very reminiscent of Yaya Toure and his deep runs. He could score from distance. It was also clear that he was versatile, being able to play either as a single pivot or further up the pitch. At Ajax, he often played as one of the number 8s in front of the single pivot. With Tadic coming inside, the two would combine to get the better of the right back. Overlapping runs from Argentine left back Nicolas Tagliafico also helped these combinations, with Daley Blind also available on the same side to combine and create. Showing this much quality at such a young age, it was only a matter of time before bigger clubs came knocking. At the time, Ten Hag wanted Gravenberch at United. The two had worked together at Ajax, and he seemed like the perfect solution to their midfield problem. But Gravenberch, he went a different direction, joining Bayern Munich.
Bayern is such a big club. I think also the biggest club in the world. And when they came to me, my decision was a fast one.
He's young, very young. He's one of the most talented midfielders in the world for his age right now. So he's the future.
I love what Bayern have done so far.
But while there was a lot of praise for the signing, that positivity did not last long. Gravenberch made just 33 appearances for the Bavarians, he struggled to get steady playing time, unable to improve his game and develop from his days at Ajax. The Dutchman showed his frustration publicly, telling ESPN that he was unhappy with his current situation. Not only did he not get game time under Julian Nagelsmann, but under Tuchel, he couldn't break into the first team either. Tuchel stated that Gravenberch's lack of playing time came from a poor tactical fit. In his 4-2-3-1 system, the German didn't need a number 8, and the attack was already stacked with players like Musiala and Sané.
He played in a system with a double pivot that doesn't really suit him in a way, and Tuchel tried to explain it a few times.
Maybe the consistent comments of the Dutch media didn't help either. It didn't look good for Gravenberch, going from a midfielder who was wanted by every top club in the world to someone who couldn't even break into a Bayern team that was having a collectively poor season. Despite how good he looked at Ajax, he was now being benched for the likes of Leon Goretzka. His one standout performance came in August 31st in the DFB Pokal, where he picked up a goal and assist. Understanding that he needs actual game time to develop, Gravenberch moved away from Germany.
The summer rebuild of Liverpool's midfield is complete. Ryan Gravenberch is officially a Liverpool player.
He was signed on the final day of the Premier League transfer window by Liverpool.
Ryan Gravenberch, the Dutch midfielder, 21 years old, is coming off his first season at Bayern Munich. Stevie, what do you think?
I don't know.
What have Jurgen Klopp seen in him that others haven't?
I see the Gravenberch from Ajax, like all of us.
There was hope that in Klopp's 4-3-3 system, the Dutchman would return to the levels we saw him at Ajax. Immediately, he was able to make an impact, assisting Luis Diaz in the Europa League.
Ryan, your first start as a Liverpool player, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, for sure.
This was actually the competition where Gravenberch really shined, as he picked up a goal against Union SG and Toulouse in back-to-back matches.
He's athletic, who can play, but his athleticism, his ability on the ball, his technical quality.
Due to Curtis Jones being out, it was the perfect opportunity for Gravenberch to get regular playing time both in the Premier League and Europa League.
I think it's really obvious how good he is, what a talent he is. He's enjoying the situation, enjoying himself. That's very important. Get step by step all the confidence back.
But after November of 2023, Gravenberch's playing time began to decrease. He only started 12 league games, often coming on for the last 15 to 20 minutes of matches. It didn't help that he was dealing with an ankle injury, but he had also been benched against Chelsea and Burnley before that. Despite the solid performances as a starter, Klopp only saw him as an impact sub when the whole squad was healthy. It seemed to be a tactical issue again. In Klopp's 4-3-3 system, Gravenberch just wasn't good enough defensively to be the sole number 6. Klopp ended up finding success with Endo there, and with McAllister and Szoboszlai already established as the 8s, Gravenberch couldn't break into the first team. He himself stated that he felt out of rhythm under Klopp, often having matches where he barely touched the ball. It does make sense. Jurgen Klopp's rock and roll football isn't really meant for technical midfielders who acquire the ball at their feet a lot. Due to the lack of game time at the club level, he didn't play a single minute at the Euros for the Netherlands either. But Slot? He saw Gravenberch's potential. Maybe it's the Dutch connection. After all, Slot was in the Eredivisie coaching when Gravenberch was at his best at Ajax, so he knows all of his strengths and weaknesses. For multiple years now, the Reds had failed to bring in a top quality holding midfielder. They thought they were getting Tchouaméni before he went to Madrid, thought they would get Caicedo or Lavia but both went to Chelsea, and then Zubamendi rejected them to stay at Real Sociedad. I know he isn't a holding midfielder, but there were reports years ago that Bellingham was interested in joining Liverpool from Borussia Dortmund. Despite Liverpool spending all those summers looking for an elite deep line playmaker, Slot realized he already had one. Playing next to McAllister in the 4-2-3-1, Gravenberch's impact was immediate, with him ranking top for tackles, interceptions, and total passes of all Liverpool players after the opening 3 games. Unlike Klopp's go-go-go system, Slot operates with more control, which suits Gravenberch as he can keep the ball and gives him the freedom to dictate the tempo. His ability to maintain possession and make the right pass out of pressure is vital to the way Slot wants to play. That control Slot is looking for cannot be achieved without a midfielder who is not just an exceptional passer, but has the footballing IQ to know when to carry the ball forward and when to keep it. Shouldn't be surprising that he has these qualities. After all, he did develop in the Ajax Academy. There was no better example of Gravenberch's dominance than the masterclass he put on at Old Trafford. The Dutchman even picked up the man of the match against AC Milan. From a midfielder who struggled to get game time in back-to-back years to dominating the center of the park on a massive European night. What's interesting is that at Ajax, he would often play in a double pivot, but he played next to Edson Alvarez, who was responsible for the main task of winning the ball back and disrupting play. Now at Liverpool, Gravenberch has more of that responsibility, as he's the one that focuses on winning the ball back high up the pitch and lets McAllister be more of the creative guy. They both create chances, don't get it wrong, but Gravenberch has more of a defensive responsibility than what he was doing at Ajax.
It impressed me most when I started working with him how much he can run and then how good he is when he arrives in a duel.
With him fixing the Liverpool issues, there is nothing stopping the Reds from winning silverware. It's fitting to have a quality midfielder like Gravenberch. With Alisson in goal, Trent and Van Dijk at the back, Salah up front, it felt like there was some quality missing in the midfield. But McAllister combined with the rise of Gravenberch has helped that problem, bringing stability in a position that seemed to be lacking it for years. Not getting Zubimendi has turned into a blessing. Gravenberch's attitude and adaptability have impressed. His resilience and bouncing back from earlier career setbacks demonstrates a maturity beyond his years. He was considered the most talented box-to-box midfielder you can get, but after 2 disappointing seasons, it seemed that he would never live up to his potential. Under Slot, the young talent has found the perfect stage to showcase his abilities. For Liverpool fans and football enthusiasts alike, it's clear. Gravenberch is not just a player to watch, but a symbol of Liverpool's new era under Slot. To see just how good the rest of the Liverpool team is doing, you have to check out this video right here.